August 6th, 2016, we're celebrating our 150 years of service to the community, and we're real happy. It's been a great turnout. As you can see, we have a lot of stuff going on, a lot of activities for the kids, a lot of modern plus history in here. It's been just a real successful event for us, and we've been real happy for it. But mainly the goal of today was to show the community. The community owns this. Everything in here, the community owns. This is their equipment. We're stewards of it, and we wanted to show them how their department has progressed in the last 150 years. The city started in 1817, I believe it was, and for those first 49 years, the fire service was it was kind of left up to the community. You know, they had little volunteer fire companies and bucket brigades and things like that. In 1866, the city fathers got together and said, you know, we really need a municipal fire department. We need to tie this together. So they hired their first fire chief on August 1st, 1866, and his name was Horace Miller. So they said, Chief Miller, we want you to bring this together. And it took him about a year to do that. And he brought the fire service together in the community, started the Owensboro Fire Department, and it's kind of progressed through there. And there's been a lot of historical, even nationwide, recognized moments within the Owensboro Fire Department, especially back in the 1920s, when things were progressing from, you know, horse-drawn to motorized and things like that, and fire prevention was really getting big back then, and we've tried to keep that up. You know, we're still an award-winning department. We've won life safety awards and things like that for our services, been recognized by several organizations just in the last 5 or 6 years on our efforts. So a lot of tradition, but a modern fire department utilizing that tradition. Some of the things we wanted to showcase today, we wanted to kind of go from history to modern to more technical, and that's kind of how we've laid out today. If you look at one side, we've got a history trailer from the State Fire Commission that a lot of Owensboro Fire Department memorabilia is in, and old equipment, and some of our old pictures from the horse-drawn days and the older fire stations to more modern. And then you come across, and we've got a lot of activities for kids. We've got the inflatable firehouse, we've got the safety house here, a lot of picture-taking opportunities. And then we also wanted to display what people don't see every day. They see the fire trucks going down the road, see us going to fires, but what they don't see a lot of is our special operations. So we really wanted to showcase that today, what our ability is in hazardous materials and technical rescue and confined space rescue and things like that. So we brought it all out here today. The Convention Center was gracious enough to co-sponsor this with us to allow us to have their floor today. And the community support's just been great. It's been steady all day.
The fire department goes back 150 years, and I started the fire department in 1993, retired out in 2014, and for the whole time I was always intrigued by all the pictures, the photos of everybody from early chiefs all the way up to the recent ones when we had fires and did things as a department. And just the nostalgia of it, you know, it's really great to look back and see what your history's had, and, you know, look and see how that's working out and how you move forward with that from your history. And, you know, even back, you know, when it started out, you know, you can tell it's just been a great department to work for. You know, the community's grown. As the community grows, they've allowed the fire department to grow too, and it's gone from, you know, a handful of people, 10 people I think it was in the beginning with buckets, to, you know, now we've got nearly 100 people on the department. So, you know, as it's grown and served the community, it's just been a great experience, and I've always loved history, and I've been blessed to be able to go through all of our history, and I've been digitizing all the pictures, so, you know, we'll have them from here on out until I guess the digital stuff goes into something different. Yeah, there's been different times when we've tried to, you know, find other things as far as, you know, historical documents and photos. In fact, about 10 or 12 years ago, we had an article in the newspaper about trying to encourage people to bring in photos or anything, so, you know, we could put either copy or, you know, whatever we need to do with it. And, you know, and several people responded. And since then, I've contacted some people, and it's been really nice to do that. We keep up with some of the older guys and that are retired. We get their pictures, but I've always looked at the pictures, gone to the retiree dinners and stuff, and it's just great to see these guys and talk to them and realize that what they did 50 years ago is the same thing. It's just with newer equipment and newer methods, but it's the same guys, and it's really nice to do that. When I started in the fire service, with the volunteer department in '91, and then I was blessed enough that I got on the Owensboro Fire Department as my job. I love the volunteer stuff, and now I'm getting paid. I was getting paid to do that, and we've had several bigger fires, church fires, and apartment fires and different things, and you always want to do a good job. And I've been involved in several times when we've actually pulled people out and save people's lives. And then on the medical side of it, we've done a lot with that too, and it's really fulfilling when you get to do that, knowing that you're not only on the fire department and putting out fires, but when you can make a difference in somebody's life, either through fire, putting out a fire. And with my time, I've always gone back and looked at that stuff and talked to the old people, the retired guys, and it's like I said, it's the same things. Guys did that years back, and it just continued on. And I was instructor for the fire department, and I retired out at battalion chief for training, and I was able to try to instill that in a lot of our other guys too. Just like with the old truck, getting other guys to learn how to drive something that was built in 1926, seeing pictures of places that don't even exist anymore, and just realizing it's all the same, and keeping that going into the future with all of our new recruits. It's not always been that way. There was a time frame years ago, probably 40 or 50 years ago, where the fire department was making some medical runs, that kind of drifted away because the ambulance services were there to provide that. And as things evolved, the fire department started to get more involved with it. And I've been able to be involved with some of that, and since I started the fire department in 1998, I believe it was, we started making all accidents with injuries. Prior to that time, we would go if they needed the jaws of life or something else to get somebody out of the vehicle. We started doing that, and that was a big transition because a lot of guys didn't feel that was their job. But we transitioned into that. We had got more EMTs involved, and gosh, in early to mid 2000s is when we started transitioning into the major medical runs. And in 2008, we jumped into a whole nother category of providing EMS, first response. We were getting there before the ambulance, probably 70 or 80% of the time because how we're stationed out. And it's really been good to be involved in that, and it's taken a long time to progress that because you meet resistance with some of the older people, the guys with more time, but it's been a big thing. There's been a lot of lives saved, a lot of difference made in people's lives because of that, and I'm sure there'll be things that we continue to transition into. Maybe running advanced life support with with paramedics. Eventually, probably I would guess. And different equipment, different trucks, different ways to do things. It's always evolving. So we keep up with history in order to make sure we can always evolve and build that into how we evolve and make it successful.
Well, we're here celebrating 150 years, Owensboro Fire Department. A long history, proud history, a lot of wonderful men, women working here. To be a part of that was quite extraordinary. To meet these men and to work with them. I spent 30 years here at the fire department, from firefighter, say up until fire chief, and the dedication that these men had were wonderful, and just so proud to be a part of that. I was chief from 2004 to 2008. During that 4-year span, the city was working very hard to keep the budget balanced, so we had to work on that philosophy of doing more with less, and I think the department did an excellent job in doing that. We initiated a number of programs for the city, for the citizens, fire protection, emergency medical services, hazardous material response, that I think have been very beneficial for the city during that time and continue to this day. Well, I'd like to just thank the guys today for what all they put together. This is the first time to my knowledge that anything has been done like this. So, you know, just to come down and to kind of reminisce a little bit, see the firefighters, the new ones, the old ones, it means a lot to me. Again, I was apart for 30 years, and the hardest part of leaving that is leaving the men that you work with. And so to come today and to see all the old equipment, new equipment, it means a lot. Brings back a lot of good memories.
Do you remember your first fire drill? Probably it was in school. School starting back, and of course, we are required to have a fire drill every month in school. Talk to your kids when they go to school about fire safety and the fire drill. It's not something to be afraid of. It's your opportunity and their opportunity to practice fire safety. As a matter of fact, again, you remember your first fire drill. That built the foundation for fire safety for the rest of your life. So talk to them about it. Nothing to be afraid of, something to learn from. There's a lot of school safety that we go through each year. We'll visit the schools, talk about fire safety, but the school's responsible for the fire drills, and your kids need to know what to do and be familiar with the area if that alarm goes off. Now, if you're going off to college, staying in a dorm, an apartment complex, be very familiar with that complex or that dorm and the rules that apply to that. You're used to staying in your home, and now you're going to an unfamiliar place. Take the time to learn where the stairwells are, how the elevators work, how the windows open and work. Make sure that the smoke detectors, sprinkler systems work there. Follow the rules when it comes to appliances inside your dorm room. If you'll follow those rules, practice with the drills, you'll be safe in the dorm as well. But keep in mind, that's similar to an apartment complex. A lot of people living together. One person's mistake can cost a lot of people their lives or injuries and so forth. So making sure that you're very familiar with the rules in those dorms will keep you safe. Have a safe school year.